Hello everyone and welcome to our balcony here in in Portugal. It's enjoying the sun, enjoying the beautiful weather.
We tried to position between two ferns.
We did,
anyway.
and this is Sangria Sunday is what it is.
Sangria Sunday.
Odaval is hanging out in our little town here outside of Lisbon. So we're here once again to inform you on another little road trip that we took. So we were in Lisbon, but again, this is the same. We're still going to Lisbon, but another city in Lisbon called Alfama. We ended up taking the metro to the final stop, Apolina, if I'm right, Santa Apolina, to be exact. But this is a little bit different, Michelle. So when we came out of the metro station, we didn't drop us right in the middle of the city. We kind of had to wind our way a little bit.
Yeah, we understood we'd be on the outskirts even of Alfama, and so first we're on the coast, so then we see the big cruise ships. But yeah, the look is a little bit different, and discovering which way to go and how you navigate was a little more like disorienting. So we had to really figure out a destination, like where are we headed, so we could wind up these beautiful streets to find where we're going.
And we did have a destination.
We did.
Castello de St, which is this great castle that we wanted to pay a visit to. Michelle found it, said we need to go there, which turned out to be an incredible afternoon, incredible experience. But on the way, as we mentioned, you had to wind our way. So in Lisbon, it's, once you start winding your way, then you find the cobblestone streets, then you find these incredible alleyways, incredible restaurants, but we're closer to the water because if Lisbon's here's the map. We go down towards the coast and up a little bit here. That's Alfama. Stay with me. And so there were some incredible lookout points because we're right by the ocean.
Yes.
Stay with me
as we started walking,
quest.
I do like that you said I found the castle. It's probably the most famous place to see in Alfama, but I appreciate the credit. And yes, we do know that it was an important place for us to visit. So we wound our way. There were lookout points. Beautiful. There's music on the streets.
Portuguese tile was prevalent. I mean, it kind of had that old school feel. Not that we didn't in Baija where we were a couple days prior, but certainly it felt even more historical, if you will. And there's a reason why.
Yeah, there is a reason why, and there's a reason why. So the reason why
researcher
is that Alfama is one of the oldest neighborhoods, and the streets, the way they wind and intersect, is actually original to the medieval times, because when there was the earthquake here in 1755, where Alfama is located actually didn't, it did affect the buildings a little bit, but the tsunamis, it didn't hit because it's high enough up. And so the original street structure, the medieval streets, are the same. So it winds all around and it intersects, and the whole goal, I think, is to get lost in Alfama, to just wander the streets, and because you'll wind yourself back again. You'll always find your way, but you just get lost in the romantic, beautiful streets.
It's like where the streets have no name.
Except
they do.
They do.
They do have
but
a name.
But it's on brick buildings. So you'll be walking down the street, and then you see the name, and you're like, oh, that's the street we were on.
You mentioned musicians, so we saw several musicians. Shout out to Nadaya, incredible violinist who we're looking forward to chatting with here in a later episode. But we did find the castle. We got there.
Can I say something else really quick before that? Yes, we did find the castle. But navigating also, it's these very narrow sidewalks, and the cars here are very respectful to pedestrians and stuff, but you really have to be aware and head on kind of on a swivel. We got stuck in this little peninsula median at one point.
In the middle of two streets like this, and their cars are trying to make U-turns, and we almost got sideswiped.
I know. I mean, we were fine, but part of it was because we were fascinated by the tram. So Tram 28, also really famous.
Kind of like a trolley.
Yeah, it's yellow. If you ever see pictures of Portugal and Lisbon, it's kind of that signature look. And we were fascinated watching the trolley come by and figuring out, it was always packed. So we're like, where do you get on for there to be space, room?
So we never got on it.
But you can at the very top.
We saw it go by.
Yeah, but it's cool.
We waved to everybody as they went by.
So then we made our way to the castle.
We got in the castle. And this is a castle that's been there for hundreds of years.
11th century.
11th century to be exact, since I didn't do the research, she did. And it was gorgeous. I mean, I didn't know what to expect. Not that I've been in a castle before, which I have not, but a lot of stone, a lot of lookout points, incredible history, statues, and it was like a playground though for a kid. Everly had the best time.
It's really amazing because where it's situated, you can just see that the foresight of where it was located and how it took the stronghold on the coast. And different than some of the other castles that we all also visited and we'll talk about that went really up high. This is
Later.
like closer to the waterfront, and just from every spot is an amazing view and understanding the history, and yeah, for kids to just run around and experience, and for us to be reflecting as she's doing that, that we're in a spot of so much history, and yeah, just feeling not small and not insignificant, like part of it.
Yeah. Whoever says, like the other castles we visited, whoever says that in a sentence.
I know.
We did.
There's so many palaces and castles.
What in the
It's, like,
world is
enchanting.
happening? Yes. So anyways,
But
in
there
the
is a
castle,
highlight
there's a highlight of the
at this
castle. A
castle.
highlight of highlights in the castle, and it had to do with the peacock. It was peacock whisper. It's real. It's a real thing. We found one peacock, which led to finding a courtyard of many peacocks, which we found out later was 42 to 43 peacocks. 5 of them were babies, and my goodness, if you've ever wanted to see your child's eyes light up and follow these peacocks up a stairway. Why, Michelle?
Well, so the keeper of the peacocks, it was feeding time, and so he came out and started banging a stick on a bucket, and the peacocks all lined up in order like they know, and follow him through this tunnel, and we were right there, so we got to follow through and
Tunnel
see them
up a stairway, and some flew
start to
over our
eat.
heads, and then they flew in this big courtyard and started to eat. It was amazing.
And it was another cool moment too of where you realize like how much knowledge your child has, because Everly was explaining to us the male looks like versus the female, and
Yeah.
like she knew a lot about peacocks.
She knew a lot about peacocks. So after a long day
Now I know
of being around peacocks and walking through a castle, you get hungry as you would. So we were able to find a spot, a local spot. It was called the Terrace, and we ended up, since we're close to the water, it had an ocean view. Of course it did. Incredible breeze. And then Everly wanted a virgin pina colada.
Well, they do a good job of showing you the pictures of things, and
Everything's
of
got a
course it's
picture.
going to tantalize the eyes. And so, yeah, she had her first.
It was a
pina colada.
pineapple, ladies and gentlemen, as we're showing you the picture right now. It was a pineapple, and this pineapple will be featured on
French fry, which is Everly's idea of a highlight on our Instagram to be able to show the food and drink from around the world. Obviously, we're trying to show her POV and be really respectful of how she interacts and shows up in any of this. And so her idea was she could do French fry and show you the food and drink from around the world. So debut is the pineapple on our Instagram.
Absolutely. So we continue to walk around, and it was starting to get a little bit later, and we're tired, obviously, but this is a historic city.
I wasn't ready to go.
Michelle's like, we're not going
We're
anywhere
not leaving yet.
And it was pretty cool because, as restaurants do here, so they open in the afternoon, then shut down for a couple hours, and they open up again at night, and there's this incredible energy. You don't see, all of a sudden we walk by all these closed doors, and then when they're all open, and in like every other door is a restaurant, is a bar, is a wine bar, is a place you can go, sit, have a drink. And they're all different. Every single place is different.
And in Alfama, especially here, the fado music. So we heard a little bit of it as we were walking through. We didn't do a formal like sit down meal and performance and music yet. But we know that that is obviously a very historical, important art form as well. And so yeah, you begin to hear the music as you're walking through the streets and
Rua dos Ramidos. This
street.
is the shopping street that Michelle wanted to go on. So we ended up going on this street, and it was, as I mentioned, everything's kind of opening up. There's this new vibe, new energy. Everybody's out and about. So I really want an ice cream. So we go by this wine bar. We're like, hey, we want to come in, but do you have ice cream? We said, no, go next door, get an ice cream, come back, as every smart shop owner would do. So we get an ice cream cone, we come back in, order a glass of wine. We left with a bottle of wine. Why not? That's what we do. Yeah.
And it was a good way to experience it. And again, you said we've had a long day, and it's that balance still here too, right? Of sightseeing and having meals, and we're still traveling, of course, as a family, and paying attention to everyone's like energy. So I really did let us have a little extra experience just so we could sit in a place that was charming and small and beautiful. So it was fun.
It was awesome. Easy way to get home. Jump back on the metro once again. And again, it was just another day here in Portugal filled with Frenchitivity.
Let's follow around when we're done. Did you hear it?
You want to follow me? I'll go in. Oh, look at that one. So